in the polling station waiting for the polling officers to come and open the station and so that they can vote for me. And Mr. Speaker, where I have always gotten 41 votes out of 3,800 votes plus as opposition votes to me. And I know the owners of those votes. They are, like I'm speaking now, I can see the vote of Ben Alusiola. It's one of those ODM votes, you know, small things. Mr. Speaker, I reflected hard and long on this. And then shortly after that, I saw Kenya's most popular politician today, William Ruto. There was a similar experience somewhere in the coast. And I went thinking further, and I realized, I called the president, I couldn't access him. I wanted to tell him, these people, they like us so much, it's not that they're heckling. They want us to hear it from them direct, that things are bad. So it doubles our calling that we must work hard and serve Kenyans a solution. I want to urge colleagues, members of parliament, whether you are in the opposition, we have been there. Now I'm in the government, I have been there. Let us work together, even if we are going to oppose each other at the forthcoming election. We work hard enough. Members of the opposition push us hard enough so that we can deliver. We want to make sure that we come out of this confusion that, as we all know, was occasioned by 2 years of total lockdown on the global market, including, Mr. Speaker, Chwele market in the backyard of the senator for Nairobi, including Lubao market was locked, Kayeke was locked, Mutuapa was locked for 2 years. There was no business. So things will take a while before we recover. I was talking to an economist, Mr. Speaker, and he was telling me something. If it is wrong, Americans, please forgive me. But the economist told me, it was not the economist in the House, the center of Migori. He told me the Americans are the only ones who enjoy the monopoly of printing money. And during the COVID time, they printed dollars and were putting on the accounts of Americans so that Americans could be cushioned from the difficulties of COVID-19 at that time. And he was telling me, he could be wrong, I don't know, I'm just sharing with you a good story of two adults when they are seated in the usual place. He told me, what's happening is that the Americans now, they are mopping out those dollars from the market. And therefore, the exercise of mopping out has made it difficult for you to get dollars. Obviously, when on the market a commodity is hard to get, when on the market a commodity is in high demand, it is called the law of supply and demand, that commodity becomes expensive. That's why the Kenya shilling, we are spending more money to get the dollar. The moment we get it right, you'll have your time to debate.
Senator Boni, yes. What is the point of order, Senator Kenyan?
Mr. Speaker, I like listening to the good doctor and Senator for Kakamega. But Mr. Speaker, you know, sometimes he confuses us. Right now, he talked about the issue place, Mr. Speaker. So I don't know which is the issue place. It can be a bullfighting field, Mr. Speaker. It can be a bar. For me, issue place is the church. So I didn't know what he meant.
Mr. Speaker, that is frivolous. But all the same, I want to advise the young senator that when you'll come of age, you'll discover that people of adult age tend to sit in certain places in the evening so as to compare the greatness of their minds. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is because of that principle of supply and demand, the economist was telling me, that we are finding it difficult and finding the dollar very expensive. I'm hoping that he was right. Soon, the depreciation of our shilling will slow down. And I've been following it. I follow it every day. It used to appreciate from the time we took over government. It was appreciating sometimes by 20 shillings, sometimes by 5 shillings, like that. But now it has gone down. In the last 3 weeks, Mr. Speaker, it has been depreciating by cents. Today it was at 0.6. Before we went for weekend, it was at 0.5. Earlier on, it was 0.3. So we're doing well. And we would like to encourage Kenyans that you allow the things that the president spoke to that we put in place for us to ensure that our country recovers. And by the way, my dear colleagues, able friends from the opposition, we gave you a chance to tell Kenyans how you'd fix it. And you told us we were not doing it well. What were we doing? We were giving cheaper fertilizer. Now down from 7,000 to 2,500. And you told us that could not be the magic bullet. We said beat. So you called big rallies. And I want to thank you for standing down your rallies. And your idea of lowering the food prices was putting cooking pots and sufurias on your heads. That kind of science, as a scientific mind, I can only relate it to mental illness. How on earth? It is not possible. If that is how we are going to teach our children at home, then we might as well outlaw education in this country. Mr. Speaker, the president, therefore, deserves our kudos for his commitment to our citizens. That was not only limited to that, but he also spoke to his commitment to the citizens' freedoms. His commitment, Mr. Speaker, to fundamental rights, and his commitment, Mr. Speaker, to democracy. Nothing is more important. Those of us